Hey, what's up guys? Portal Master Nick here, and today we're taking a look at the new goddess Cliodhna on the PTS. I couldn't be more excited for her. I think she looks awesome. I've been waiting for the Celtic Assassin to come out for over 4 years now. So in this video I'm going to explain and show off her abilities, and we're going to go over some items and builds that I think might work on her. Let's jump right in. So first there's her attack chain. She follows a 1-1-1.5 attack chain, which is great. I'm always happy to see anything other than the boring 1-1-1 that everyone else has. Cliodhna's first ability is Banshee's Wail, where she screams in a cone in front of her, dealing 3 instances of damage. The last hit hits the hardest and silences and deafens enemies hit. Deafen is a new effect that they're adding into the game as of this guide, that's going to mute the game sounds of targets that get hit. This effect would be most useful with Loki or the Morrigan, or basically any god that uses very telling sound cues. Her second ability is Flickering Visions, where she shoots out a bolt in a line in front of her that explodes upon hitting an enemy, dealing damage in the AoE and actually granting her stealth. She's only stealthed from the people who are hit by the bolt, so these Odins here can still see me, whereas this one cannot. And while you're invisible to at least one person, you gain a boost of movement speed as well. Attacking or taking damage while this stealth is active will cause you to flicker into existence briefly for targets. Cliodhna's third ability is Lurching Claw. It's her movement ability. It's a dash that deals damage, and then at the end she swipes in a cone, dealing more damage. But the cool part about it is she can cancel it or change directions at any point during the dash, and fire the swipe in that direction. Next, we'll talk about her ult, Tearing the Veil. She rips open a portal in front of her that deals heavy burst damage after a short delay, and then after that, spirits continuously flow out of the portal, dealing tick damage and slowing. The damage is reduced when a target is hit by multiple instances of it. It's a very strong tool for zoning, and it is on a very short cooldown. I believe the cooldown's around 30 seconds with full CDR late game. But that's not all. She also has 2 charges of the ability, so she can use it twice. The burst damage of the ult is quite high, but it does have a very long delay, so it should be pretty hard for her to hit on her own, but if you pair it up with another god with CC, you could really use it to do some damage. Last but definitely not least, we're going to talk about Cliodhna's passive, which is Phantasmal. So Cliodhna is able to just walk up to walls, and if you keep walking, she'll walk right into them. While inside of a wall, she takes tick damage that ramps up over time, as you can see, so she can't stay in here forever. She's unable to enter a wall if she's below 25% HP, or if she's crippled, so you can try and stop her from slipping away by bursting her or crippling her. And then while she's inside of a wall, as well as for 5 seconds after leaving a wall, she gains 10% physical ability like Steel. Another important thing to note about Cliodhna's passive is that you actually don't die inside of the wall. If you run out of health, you'll instead be ejected from the wall at the nearest point. She's also able to cast her first ability, third ability, and ultimate while she's inside of a wall, for kind of enhanced effects. So the Scream, her first ability, now covers a larger area. And it actually makes a creepy face come out of the wall. That's what that thing is screaming at them. If you cast her 3 from inside of a wall, it extends the range of it. So you can get some crazy range on the dash if you do something like this. And then you can just fly across the map. When you cast her ult from inside of a wall, it actually doesn't go off right away. It'll sit there as a trap, and then when enemies walk past it, it will activate and damage them. Or unless there's somebody in it, it obviously will go off immediately when you put it up. Cliodhna is able to set up to 3 wall traps at a time. They can't be seen by enemies, but they can be destroyed by enemies, and they last forever. That's going to just about do it for her kit. I think she looks super cool and fun to play, albeit quite strong, but we'll have to wait and see. Next, let's talk some items and how I think she's likely going to be built. I think she'll likely be built with full power and pen, so like every item they buffed in the last patch. Although Transcendence and Jotuns are receiving small nerfs in the bonus balance, it's only a net loss of 10 power across both items. I'd say Trans would be good on her, as long as that item is relevant. And Jotuns almost every game, because she definitely seems like a god where you're going to run a lot of cooldown on. Obviously you're going to want to run a Brawler, Boot Stick for healing. Crusher could be nice too, as it will proc on her 4 damaging abilities, 5 to include her 2 charges of her ult. Heartseeker is nice for even more bonus damage and percent pen and power. Bloodforge is nice for her because it helps mitigate some of her wall damage, so if you actually get a kill while inside of a wall, the Bloodforge shield will shield you from the damage you take from your passive. Soul Leader is another item that seems to be pretty core on her, giving just about every stat she could want and adding a ton onto her sustain. It synergizes with the ability life steal she gets from her passive to help her stay in the walls and harass for longer. Hydra's Lament is another good item if you tend to weave a lot of auto attacks in between your abilities. Now in terms of starter items, I was thinking Mannequin's Hidden Blade first, as it could make her burst even more insane. However, this item will not be too great for her because in order to engage, you'll likely be going in through a wall, which is going to damage you and disable its passive. Bumba's Hammer is a fairly good option to give her some more sustain and help her abilities be up more often. With this one, the main thing you'll want to watch out for is overcapping cooldown. A lot of the other items I suggested, like Transcendence, Jotuns, Soul Eater, and Hydras also give cooldown, so just be aware that Bumba's is going to give you 20% CDR, so if you plan on building this, maybe skip the Jotuns. Protector of the Jungle is another potential starter for her, but sadly being inside of walls does not count as being in the jungle. Outside of the jungle role, if you're playing her mid or in another game mode, you could build Bluestone Brooch, as she has a lot of damaging abilities to proc it. Lastly, here are some items that interact pretty weirdly with her passive, but some of these may be changed by the time of her release. Mystical Mail's aura damage is able to hit enemies on the outside of a wall while you're in it. Pridwin activates and is able to shield you from the self-damage, but the damage and slow AoE doesn't seem to affect enemies through walls. Walls can give her 1 stack of Infused Sigil one time, but then it won't stack again. Her self-damage will continuously proc Mail Renewal, eventually causing it to burst heal you, and the heal aura will still hit allies outside of the wall. If you pop Med before going into a wall, it will not heal you while inside of the wall. Upgraded Phantom and Frenzy's damage mitigation and increase does change the self-damage she takes from walls. Anyways guys, that's going to do it for this video. I'm so excited for Cliodhna, she's going to be so much fun and I can't wait to play her on live. I have a couple more PTS videos of her that I'm working on, so be sure to hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss those, and I'll catch you in the next one.